So I watched Superman the Animated Series for the first time. This show came out in 1996, following the success of Batman the Animated Series. Having recently watched the Batman series for the first time, I can't help but compare the two shows. I'll try to talk about Superman as a standalone show, but since the two stories are canonically in the same universe, I can't avoid comparing them for very long. Quality. The animation doesn't stand out to me. It was fine and told the story well enough, but nothing about the art style highlighted the storytelling. It's just, we're in a kind of futuristic world, and it's sunny. Not to immediately compare it to Batman the Animated Series, but in the first few seasons of that show, we saw how the style of animation could be used to tell the story, just as well as the dialogue. But in this show, I just don't see the same creative element in the animation or art style. In fact, a lot of the aliens feel very cartoony. I can't see this as anything beyond entertainment for children when I see villains like this on the screen. Yes, I know it is a kid's show. I just had high hopes for the Warner Bros. After making a show like Batman. In the Batman show, the villains were mostly humans. We could relate to them on at least some surface level. But with non-human, cartoon-looking monsters, we have no problem with Superman taking them out. Taking the show as a whole, there wasn't anything special to it. Maybe I'm just spoiled with shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender and Teen Titans and Mandalorian, but it struggled to keep my attention. All the shows I just mentioned are episodic, but interesting enough to keep our attention. For the most part, Superman just didn't keep me interested. Having said that, some of the episodes were very, very good. Best Superman content we have. For example, the first episode of the series takes place on Krypton and does the best job at displaying Kryptonian politics. And for once, there was good emotion. We spent time on Krypton and saw Kal-El's family interact and share happy moments. I was actually upset when the planet exploded, which is more than I can say for some other versions of Krypton. But once we get farther into the show, we run into some more problems. This is a little picky for a kid's show, but if there are so many dangerous weapons that can harm Superman, then why does Batman or half the Justice League stand a chance? Also, the show is much more surface level in its themes. Occasionally it would discuss something more serious than this alien wants to destroy our way of life. For example, Season 2, Episode 5 was our introduction to Livewire. For various reasons, she hated Superman and refused to let him save her. That's cool. It's something different than just fighting random aliens and bad guys.
I did everything I could to save her. Everything. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Excuse you? Look what you did to me!
Let's end this section on a positive note. This is still some of the best Superman content we have so far. Want a show with classic villains, crossovers, and good action scenes? This is still the show for you. Characters. Superman/Clark Kent. He's helpful and humble, maybe to a fault. He's a good role model and never compromises on his morals. But as a main character, he's rather boring. Whenever there's a crossover or simply teaming up with another character, Superman becomes much more interesting. His uncompromising will against other characters is really compelling.
Give me 5.
Oh!
Too slow.
Give me 5, big guy. Too slow.
I have an issue with his design though, specifically his eyes. I know in the comics this is how he looked, but with eyes drawn small like that, it leaves little room for expressions. He's always squinting, it seems. Oh yeah, and I didn't even talk about Clark Kent yet. That's because I didn't see anything noteworthy about him. He's just a reporter and a nice guy. Lois Lane. She's a lot to handle. I don't think I like her. The only episode I was truly rooting for her was when she was in that alternate dimension and she had to actually survive on her own. For once, she wasn't just a damsel pretending to be a strong female character. I genuinely don't mind if she's a damsel or a strong character, but this show gives her the personality of a strong character while also treating her like a damsel. It makes her come across as very annoying to me. Also, the show could have focused on Lois's and Superman's relationship more. They hint at them being a couple, but we don't see much of it. It would have been cool to see Lois have a crush on Superman and then continue to bully Clark at work, making a sort of love triangle between them. Lana. She's cool. She's not an idiot and figured out who Superman really was. The love triangle between Superman, Lana, and Lex was fun while it lasted.
Red, blue, yellow. Primary, but it works in a superhero-ish kind of way. Let me guess. Martha sewed it for you.
What?
By the way, Clark. How are the folks?
Mercy. She's probably my favorite character. She kicks butt and I love her. Does her outfit make complete sense? No, because I don't care. I think it's awesome. She walks the line between trophy girl and assassin bodyguard. I absolutely lost my mind when my favorite character from Batman, Harley Quinn, had a fight with Mercy. Probably my favorite part of the show. Bizarro. He was sweet, just trying to do the right thing. I like the ending to his story. John Henry Irons / Steele. All I have in my notes for him is he's a good guy. I like him. Scripture reference. There's a couple of things I could have picked to talk about in this section, but I decided to go with the one that I'm most familiar with. In the episode Heavy Metal, Superman teams up with John Henry Irons, aka Steele, to battle Metallo. John is fighting some goons when he's cornered and one of them says,
Look, it's a dead Samaritan.
I like the little twist that Superman the Animated Series has with this phrase. Normally you say good Samaritan, but here he's a dead Samaritan, implying John tried to be a good neighbor but would ultimately be the one who dies. But of course, our hero Superman steps in to save the day.
Say goodnight, chump.
Good night, chump.
Things I really liked. Since the show had crossovers with Batman the Animated Series, I get to say that I like Batman's cape. Mr. Mixelpillick? Mixy Pictil. Mix-e-z-put-tick-ulk. The guy from the Fifth Dimension was a really good villain. The Brave New Metropolis episode. Anything with Mercy. Anytime Bruce Wayne is here. Mercy versus Harley.
How dare you use one of my laboratories for your...
Ollie?
Put him down, Baldy!
Mercy?
The late Mr. Kent episode was basically Sunset Boulevard, and I love it. Nighttime has to be my favorite episode.
Right here. Look familiar?
Ah, yes. Bane.
Legacy Part 1 and 2 were good episodes to end the show on. I like the action and the story. Final comments. Apparently, this show was more groundbreaking for Superman's character than I realized. Other videos I watched while preparing the script for this video suggest that this show was more historic than a kid from the 2000s could understand. I mean, I'm currently watching Superman and Lois, and that Superman is amazing. So it's hard for me to step out of time and imagine a world before the Justice League cartoon in the Arrowverse. This show may not have had as much of an impact on me as other shows in this universe, but it did have an impact. If I want good Superman content, I know where to go now. And hey, they gave us Mercy. So it's worth a watch if you haven't seen it already. Thanks for watching, and I'll be making more videos soon.